How's it going? Tobin, back in the den, episode 28 in my razor review series, the Prismatic from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. This came out back in 2016. I got mine sometime in 2017, and it quickly became a razor that I reached for often, and for a very long period was a daily driver, one that I was just shaving with multiple times a week, if not every day. I really fell in love with it, and I fell in love with it fast. I've had it for 8 or 9 years now, and every time I use it, I'm reminded just how much I love it. I'm going to follow, this is based on the Kirby, a vintage razor. Going to follow the same format that we've used in the previous videos in the series. First, taking a look at the efficiency score. This razor is a great example of how it's the trifecta that makes a razor efficient or mild. And those three things are blade gap, blade angle, and blade exposure. The blade gap on this is just slightly smaller than average. Average for me is about a 0.025 of an inch. This one comes in at 0.023 of an inch or 58 millimeters. So it's just slightly smaller than what I personally consider to be average. So 58 millimeters for the blade gap. The exposure is positive, and it's more positive than most razors that you're going to be accustomed to. It's not, the most positive ever, but it is a positive exposure, and you're going to notice the blade. And the same thing goes for angle. This is a steep angle to where you're going to want to ride the cap with this one. And so with the exposure and with the angle, we're getting a pretty darn efficient razor. With 5 being average, 10 being the most efficient razor I've ever experienced, I'm going to give this one a 6. It is a very efficient razor when you factor in that the blade gap is only 0.023 of an inch. And I'm attributing that to the angle and the exposure. You will get blade feel out of this one. That then moves us down into symmetry score. With it, we're looking at the thickness or the thinness, the geometry of the head. Is that right? Whether or not the blade tabs are sticking out. And then the knurling, that's the grip of the handle, and the weight and the balance. So heads do not get any thinner, in my opinion, than this one here. That was kind of one of Kirby's claim to fame, was with that style of head, was that they're just ultra thin for getting underneath the nose and in those hard to reach places. Super thin head on this razor. The knurling, the grip is perfect. I love the grip on this one. It is super grippy. And with the shorter handle, you're going to want that, because this one measures in at 3 inches long and weighs 1.9 ounces. So it is on the shorter end, but I don't mind a short handle. I actually would prefer a shorter handle. And because of that shortness, it's more nimble, and you can just maneuver it even more with that little thin head. This is a razor that can get into any of those hard to reach places, and it's just a joy to use. It really is. The balance is perfect. It's right where you want it to be. I love this razor. Did I already say that? It's got a phoenix on the bottom of it. That's some old school PAA stuff right there. And yes, that is still on the ones that you would buy today. For symmetry score, I'm giving it a 9, a near perfect. Blade alignment and chatter, what I call the tolerance score. So it's a good thing that the blade tabs stick out, because the only real place that I would ding this razor, and the one thing that I would want someone to be aware of that's considering buying the Prismatic, is that the blade alignment isn't perfect. And for the price, you can't expect perfection. However, what I mean by that is when you put the razor together and you put the blade on it, you're going to have to look to make sure that the blade is aligned. And since the blade tabs stick out, that's nice and easy. So what I would advise you to do is tighten it down until it's snug, but not too snug that you can't grab the tabs and adjust the blade. So I like to get a look at it. Like, oh, it needs to go just a scotch, so I'd have it just enough to where I can maneuver it. So you need to be aware of that, and then just look at it to see if it's straight, if the blade is straight with the straight bar on both sides. Both sides would be what? Perpendicular to the other? Is that the right word? I'm going with it. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. But you want it to be aligned. So that's the one thing to be aware of, is that you're going to have to make sure that the alignment is proper. Chatter, there's virtually no chatter. I don't think most people are going to notice any chatter or issues in that regard. For a tolerance score, I'm going to give it a 7. Moves us next into what I call the permanence score. With it, we're looking at the durability and the construction materials. So what we have is a brass handle with nickel plate, and then the head is a zinc alloy, also known as Zamac, and that has a satin polish. So a satin nickel polish on the head. So the handle is kind of a matte nickel, if you will. That's probably not the right word for it, but the head is a little shinier. They're both plated in nickel, and I absolutely love it. For a permanent score, I'm going to give it an 8. If it was stainless steel or something like that, I give it a 10. I've had this for 8 or 9 years, since 2017. I forget exactly when I bought it. When I'm recording this, it is now the middle of November 2025. So it's safe to say that I've had it for like 8 years. I've taken it on, I don't know how many outdoor shaves, several. I've traveled with it. It's a great travel razor, and mine's just fine. It still looks, I mean, it's gorgeous. I love this razor. I really do. Friendliness to new wet shavers. Everything we take into account of above, plus the price. So with this one, I would give it a 9, with 5 being I don't know if I'd recommend it for a first razor. 10 being like so easy. This is the razor you need for your very first razor. And the only reason why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 is because of that tolerance, but then also the blade alignment that we talked about, but then also the efficiency of it and the exposure of it, that you're going to feel that blade. So as long as you take into account that you're going to feel the blade and that you're going to have to keep an eye when you're putting it together. Like I said, once you get it together, you never have to worry about it. Get it snug, do your 3 passes, you're done. You don't have to worry about it. So a 9 out of 10. Value, it's a 10. This razor, as of today, November of 25, is selling for $24.95. If you're a shave nerd like myself, this one is a no-brainer. This is one that you need in your arsenal, in your collection. It is an absolute joy to use. I paid for it. The links in the description are an affiliate link. If this video helped you make a decision on buying it, I would appreciate it if you use that link. It lets Phoenix Artisan know that you watched this video and that it influenced your decision, and I will earn a 10% commission from your sale. So I'll get $2.50 from, well, not quite, because it's $24.95, but close enough. We'll round it up. I love it. I really do, you guys. I've had it for 8 years. I still enjoy using it. I've just been using it the last week or so, every single shave, comparing it with other razors. Going to do the Metaphor here soon. The Metaphor is the stainless steel version. And if I was going to be honest, I love this razor. I like the Metaphor. The Metaphor is a slightly different animal. I'm going to leave it at that. And once I get that one recorded, it'll appear right here. You guys take care. I'll see you next time. The little big thing, as always in this series, is value. $24.95. Brass handle, zinc head, nickel plate, daily driver, damn fine shave, 3 passes, BBS. It's great for buffing. It's a 10. Take care.